So I had an interesting thought. Okay, a little thought experiment, and this was actually a little inspired by a video I saw that John Stossel did. So I decided to have uh, in video do an AI explaining video of basically the thought process that celebrities, politicians, and the rich has. Okay, and I say they both was pretty good. So now I'm going to actually do one with I decided to use the GROK AI because I wanted to see what it would come up with from the same thought experiment. All right. Now, the thought experiment that this is the title of the video is basically what's the odds that basically somebody that basically reaches the point of having the kind of money that celebrities, CEOs, and politicians have actually staying sane. Would their money drive them utterly insane? Okay. And now I want to actually have Grok use deep search. Okay. All right. All right. I want to see what it comes up with. Okay. All right. We're going to ask. Uh, why is the God feeling that? All right. As the kind of money celebrities and politicians earn, possibly driven them insane with fear of others. Now, if it hasn't, if it doesn't give me the kind of answer that it should give, okay. Well, let me rephrase this. What is the chances of the kind of money celebrities and politicians earn driven them insane with fear of others? All right. Now we're going to hit it with the question. All right. Now, Rocket tends to give you a kind of a thought process of how it's doing its research and gives you the results. Okay. Now, basically, if you stop to think about it, okay, they on average earn billions of dollars. Okay. Millions, billions, and trillions of dollars. Okay. And if you stop and think about it, okay, how do you react when you see other people? All right. Celebrities, on the other hand, is on a whole other level, under constant scrutiny of reporters and other reporters and civilians. And because they got so much money and influence, basically anybody they interact with, they're going to have the general paranoia of other people wanting to use them for that money, resulting in them metaphorically and literally hiring security, motion sensors, panic rooms, living in fenced-in properties under constant security, basically living in a literal and metaphorical emotional prison. Okay, here we go. Research suggests wealth can increase paranoia, especially for celebrities and politicians. It seems likely that sudden wealth heightens fear of others due to isolation and scrutiny. Oh, yes. The evidence leans toward higher mental health risk, but exact chances are unclear. I think, given the past 10 years, I'd say 100%. Well, particularly for high profile individuals like celebrities and politicians, can bring unique pressures that may tend to mental health challenges, including paranoia or fear of others. This is often, holy smokes, it's actually going there, often linked to sudden wealth public scrutiny and changes in relationships. Impact on mental health. Studies show that wealth can distort empathy and lead to emotional challenges like anxiety, wow, depression, and paranoia for celebrities and politicians. Fame adds layers of isolation and pressure, potentially increasing fear of betrayal or harm. Oh, wow. Examples and prevalence. Historical figures like Richard Nixon and Saddam Hussein exhibited paranoia, while celebrities like Sid Barrett face similar issues. Paranoid personality disorder (PPD) affects 2.3 to 4.4% of the population, and the risk may be higher for wealthy, high-profile individuals, though exact probabilities are not well documented. Well, I'd say they're pretty damn well documented now. Comprehensive analysis on wealth and paranoia in celebrities and politicians. This analysis explores the likelihood that significant wealth earned by celebrities and politicians might drive them to experience paranoia or fear of others, a complex issue at the intersection of psychology, sociology, and economics, drawing from various sources. Oh my God. I was expecting pretty good, but this is really good. We examine the psychological impacts of wealth, particularly in high profile contexts, and provide detailed insights into the mechanisms and examples supporting the phenomenon, psychology impacts of. Uh, how big is my? Okay, it's not as long as I thought it was going to be. Okay, wealth, especially when acquired suddenly, can lead to a range of mental health challenges. Research from the psychology of wealth and how it affects mental health highlights that while being rich offers advantages, it also brings significant challenges. These include identity crises. Yeah, we're seeing that. All right, where individuals feel unclear about their role and next steps, and financial imposter syndrome, where they feel undeserving of their wealth. No, actually, technically, well, that actually might explain a lot. If you stop to think about it, a lot of celebrities is talking about the poor people, but then they're not wanting to give up their money. So they have a push pull. Like, let's say, for example, Bernie Sanders, who's a millionaire, is always talking about the poor people, but then he doesn't want to give up his money to help the poor people, resulting in him talking about helping other people, but then wanting to use taxpayers' money to do it instead of his own money. And then you got other examples. So yeah, that does kind of make sense. Leading to behaviors like delaying health appointments or wearing old shoes. The article notes 4 P's of imposter syndrome. Okay, it's talking about people basically trying to act like they're poor, but then they're actually insanely rich. And there's actually a few people. There's actually a few rich people, but I can't think of their names off the top of my head. All right, syndrome. Sorry, perfectionism, paralysis, people pleasing, and procrastination, which can exacerbate mental strain. Yeah, you know, we're the people that just showed all that. Further, sudden wealth syndrome, the impact of money on mental health, discusses how sudden wealth can lead to depression, insomnia, anxiety, and paranoia, emotional challenges like guilt, fear of the unknown, secrecy, isolation, and loneliness, which with loneliness linked to psychiatric disorders such as depression, alcohol abuse, child abuse, sleep problems, personality disorders, and Alzheimer's disease referenced in Wealth Bank Insights. Yeah, a lot of celebrities ended up doing a lot of it, flowing through a lot of that, and then they ended up going to a certain little island, and then they got the files, and then they were trying to destroy the files, all kinds of I'm not getting into that because this isn't about that. This is about, the rich people being basically driven insane. And if you actually stop thinking about it, reporters are rich too. So that means basically you got a feedback loop here. And I'm going to actually be doing one more if this doesn't hit it, because if it doesn't hit it, then I want to see if GROK will be able to realize the feedback loop that I've realized. These issues are particularly relevant for VIPs and ultra high net wealth individuals. All right, a category that includes celebrities and politicians. As noted, the CALDA clinics focus on discrete rehabilitation for such figures. Specific challenges for celebrities, politicians. Celebrities and politicians face additional pressures due to their public status, which can amplify these mental health risks. Celebrities and mental health, the rich and unhappy, emphasizes that fame and fortune do not guarantee happiness. Research from Princeton University shows emotional well-being plateaus at around 75,000 annually, beyond which more money does not increase happiness. Sandra, I don't know how to. I'm not even going to try to say the last name. Studies indicate that 50% of happiness stems from genetics, 40% from daily habits, and only 10% from external circumstances like wealth. Highlighting the limited role of money and mental well-being for celebrities, fame being intense scrutiny and isolation, as noted by Lady Gaga's statement. I don't think I could think of a single thing that's more isolating than being famous. Examples include Robin Williams, who battled severe depression and passed in 2014, and health. Heath Ledger, who struggled with depression and substance abuse, leading to an accidental overdose in 2008. These cases illuminate how wealth and okay. But Jim Carrey, I think everybody should get rich and famous to everything they ever dreamed, so they can see that it's not the answer. Politicians, well, less discussed in the celebrity focus sources, face similar pressures. The article from Paranoid Personality Disorder and which celebrities suffer from it includes political leaders like Saddam Hussein, Joseph Stalin, and Richard Nixon, known for their paranoia. Nixon, the 37th U.S. president, was hyper vigilant, recorded every meeting, and yeah. Nixon was leading to paranoia and fear. All right. I don't think I need to keep reading this because I guess with that little bit, you know, I don't think I need to continue reading this because I want to see if this is going to get the feedback loop. Okay. All right. Calling a hyper politically biased news source that exclusively, just as up, I'm actually doing this video at 8:12 p.m. So I might be a little slow at typing. Okay. And I want to make sure I put this in right because I don't want the AI to basically be able to misunderstand or misinterpret. Okay. And so I'm trying to be careful how I type this. Okay. How badly would following a hyper politically biased news source that exclusively attacks a single political party drive a rich person completely insane with paranoia and fear. If you've been following, this video is actually 2025. Okay, if you've actually followed it about if you've been following what's been going on for the video is 2025, you've actually been following the United States and the news. How the news basically is highly politically biased. All right, in the past 10 years, you'll realize why and what's been going and what's been going on social media. You'll get why this question is so valid. Okay, and sorry about bumping the microphone. Okay, so valid and kind of to the point. All right. All right. Political text message. Can you chip in for, campaign, blah, blah, blah. All right. Oh, no. This is too much. I hope this is as much as I think I just got, because I just looked away to delete some deleted junk text message. Okay, so alright, it's not as much as I thought it was. Alright. Okay. Okay. Let's make sure this is alright. Good. Alright. Research suggests that consuming hyper politically biased news can increase paranoia and fear, especially for wealthy individuals already under stress. Yep. It seems likely that exclusive focus on attacking one party could amplify these effects, but the severity varies based on individual factors. The evidence leans toward significant mental health risks, though exact outcomes like completely insane are complex and depend on paranoia. Okay. All right, impact on mental health. Following a hyper-politically biased news source that exclusively attacks a single political party can significantly worsen a rich person's mental health. Mental health, potentially leading to increased paranoia and fear. This is because such news often amplifies negativity. Yep. This is legit what went on and has been going on. Amplifies negativity, and humans have a natural tendency to focus on negative information known as negativity bias. For wealthy individuals who may already face pressures like isolation and public scrutiny, this could... Oh, dang, I should have let myself a drink. Oh, whatever, I'm going to just keep rolling. Like isolation and public scrutiny, this could exacerbate existing vulnerabilities, pushing them towards heightened anxiety or even severe paranoia in extreme cases. That is exactly what happened. Booyah, that's exactly what happened. And people legitimately this is exactly what happened. Bam. The extent of the impact depends on factors like the individual's pre-existing mental health, how much they consume the news, and their social support system. Those already prone to anxiety or with limited exposure to diverse perspectives might be more affected, potentially leading to a distorted worldview where they feel constantly threatened. Bam. That's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. And people actually take these people's words for gospel. This is exactly what happened. Studies such as those on the scary world syndrome, making them more susceptible to biased news reinforcing their fears. Comprehensive analysis on the impact of hyper-politically biased news on wealthy individuals' mental health. Yep, this analysis explores how following a hyper-politically biased news source that exclusively attacks a single... Okay, all right. We got it. All right, the first few of them kind of was to the point. This is all kind of giving background context, all right? So I'm going to jump down to background context to see what it got, all right? And then I'm going to do one more question and then maybe one more after that one, depending if it gives me everything I want. Okay, the current media landscape as of June 26, 2025 is characterized by highly polarized news sources with outlets often catering to specific political ideologies. Hyper politically biased news sources are those that present information with a strong slant, often exaggerating or selectively reporting. Okay, yeah, we get it. Okay, that's based on 25 news, which is actually 100% true. That's actually what the news is going on. Okay, all right. Now I'm not going to keep reading through this because the start of it kind of already covered it. This is just all more in depth. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to get hit it with one more. All right, all right. All right. I'm just going to ask for it in a short one because I don't really want this big, huge, deep search thing, okay? All right. Is a person that follows aggressively biased to one party news and is surrounded surrounded by people who follows the same biased news source to be driven to be driven to be driven to extreme paranoia and fear of of the other political party. All right. And it's voters and supporters. All right, now, if y'all know who this is, if you know what, if you know, you know. Okay, I'm not going to name names. Okay, all right, I'm not going to name names. But survive say they left the country. So basically, what happened was, all right, the hyper biased news source, driven and CEO'd and headed by politically biased people, and then you got entertainers that surround themselves with the same biased people. Okay, you've got an infinite loop driving the people more and more and more insane, causing what we've seen happen in the United States to happen. It's a extreme feedback loop. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, research suggests a high likelihood of extreme paranoia and fear developing in this scenario, but exact probabilities are unclear due to individual differences. Despite the fact we've got literal proof, we've seen it happen firsthand, and we see it happening firsthand. It seems likely that the combination of wealth bias news and an echo chamber amplifies these mental health risks. The evidence leans toward significant, yep, okay, impact of biased news, role of wealth. Uh, what just happened? Why isn't my browser responding? Okay, I just came back to life. Okay, good. All right. All right, okay, we already kind of covered that. We're going to, okay, role of wealth. We kind of covered that. All right, echo chamber effects. Being surrounded by like minded individuals reinforces biased views, creating an echo chamber. This lack of diverse perspectives can amplify fears, as research on media bias shows that echo chambers can reach extreme views. Yep, numbers and psychological effects of biased news. We covered that earlier. Impact of wealth, we covered that earlier. Mechanisms leading to paranoia and fear, negativity, biased, and threat perception. Biased news often focuses on negative aspects such as scandals or threats from the targeted party, which can heighten perceived risk. The article, How Negative News Can Impact Your Mental Health, explains how exploring, all right, echo chambers and confirmation bias. Yep, there we go. Evidence and examples, well, specific case studies of wealthy individuals driven to paranoia by biased news are scared. Not scarce anymore. You've been paying attention. The problem is that research is highly also biased funded as well. So hence why it won't be really that depth, but it doesn't take genius to connect the dots. Historical examples provide insight. The initial conversation mentioned figures like Richard. Okay, yeah, all right, whatever. This okay. Conclusions. In conclusion, it is highly likely that a rich person who follows aggressively biased news and is surrounded by people with the same views will develop extreme paranoia and fear towards the opposing political party and its supporters. This likelihood is supported by the psychological effects of biased news, the mental health challenges faced by wealthy individuals, and the reinforcing effect of an echo chamber. While exact probabilities are not available due to individual differences, the cumulative evidence from research and expert opinions strongly suggests that this scenario create a fertile ground for extreme mental health outcomes, potentially disrupting the individual's daily life and relationships. Okay, I'm going to kind of scroll up to the top because I wasn't really planning on doing this for over 30 minutes, but I want to kind of give a slow scroll and kind of let you kind of get a look at all of this. Okay, We have we cracked the code. Okay, we've got the echo chamber at certain news media sources, and then you've got CEOs basically pushing a certain political, perspective and opinion. All right, so that way they can maintain a political bias. All right, and then you've got rich people and politicians following this biased news. All right, bashing the other party, and then you've got a government that's basically designed to push, all right, this political bias, because the literal United States government and its buildings, like the, all right, is literally built around the two-party system. Basically, you got one wing for Democrats, you got one wing for Republicans, basically isolating them, and they're only really commingle when they're voting. All right, so you got literally the United States is built around an echo chamber. The whole United States government, news, and then you got wealthy people, okay, that lives in constant fear, and then you got the news media, news reporters, and the news industry, which is run by these rich people, where their own money basically isolates them from society. You've literally, and then you've got the public basically taking people that's been driven emotionally and mentally unstable, taking what they say as gospel. This is hilarious. It's a literal food feedback loop. Oh man, this was good. This is good. This answer is actually I kind of knew this, but this kind of answers it too. Oh man. Oh yeah. If you want, you can pause this and kind of read any part of this if you want. All right, because this was good. I'm actually impressed. All right, this was good. I'll link the AI, the video AI, the video AI generator uh, did for this as well. Okay, I'll put this in the description. And I might have to do one more thing. Actually, if I can, I want to I'm going to pop into this, because I'm actually into GROK for this. I'm going to pop into this conversation. I'm going to have GROK turn this into a rap, and have my other AI program that's just music, make it into an AI rap song, and I'm going to upload that, and I'll link it as well, okay? As always, thank you for watching, and peace out, everyone. This was fun!